So the WSS process, at different points along the way, if we were to discuss ego dynamics, if anyone felt that those ego dynamics were occurring in their systems, they might feel victimized, or they might feel angry, or they might feel judged, or they might feel called out. So we don't judge, we don't call out people for publicly being egoistic. That doesn't mean that people don't feel that if there's any discussion of ego dynamics, if they look in their own systems and find that they operate from some of those dynamics, they tend to recoil out of self-judgment or not feeling safe all of a sudden. And that's a painful process and an arduous process. So crushing those ego rocks into dust day after day after day is a necessary thing. And the experienced pain is a byproduct of attained consciousness. And we have the option in that process of being optimally self-accountable and of helping each other at the same time. So what that translates to is being willing to hold space for another if they're working through an ego process without judging them, having compassion, empathy, and love for them, and recognizing that if they ever shift into ego process, that's a part of the human learning process. Children don't learn not to burn their hand on a stove or an iron unless they first burn their hand on a stove or an iron. It's simply part of the human life process. We learn through experiencing, and we learn through making choices and then living through the consequences or results of those choices. The question is, in the picture here on the right, we could say, well, these folks are helping each other up this steep slope or this rocky terrain. And that's the necessary thing. As we as an organization evolve, as we see in the left picture here, the way is likely to get steeper. The question is, will we remain helping each other? Will we still be there for each other? Will we still help? Now I worked in an organization a long time ago, almost 30 years ago. And one of the managers commented to me and he said, John, the people here some of them are upset with you because you're trying to pull them up a cliff that they have fallen off of, and you're holding on to their wrist, and you're trying to bring them to safety, so to speak. And they're complaining about, ooh, you're hurting my wrist. So like looking at that pain and discomfort and ignoring that if they were dead and crushed on the rocks below, it would hurt a lot worse. So the question is, as we help each other, all of you help each other up these steep slopes, if someone slips and the rope that is designed to save them from falling tightens on their arm or around their waist and it hurts, as a facilitator, as a supporter, are you going to be okay? Are you going to be able to remain equanimous and say, I get that it hurts, and we're going to get you up this hill or this mountain just as gently and quickly as we can. And we apologize. We don't want you to hurt. And it's a part of the process. You're not going to be able to become conscious without experiencing pain. If you assume that that will be so, or that it should be so, or it can be so someday or in some way, we would suggest it's wishful thinking. And anyone has the right to indulge in wishful thinking all they want, and it won't get you up the hill. And it won't get you to consciousness. So we hope that any discomfort that folks feel in this process is understandably growing pains and a and not intended to cause pain, and not a sign of not being cared about when you're in pain. And that pain is itself is educational. It's communicating something to you that is precious, that is vitally important for your evolution of consciousness. It may feel like hell. It may be seemingly beyond your capacity to endure. And when you're on the other side of it, you'll be able to look back and say, oh, that's why that happened. That's how I benefited. That was the necessary discomfort. That was the breaking of the shell that enclosed my understanding, and I've transcended it. And now we can all move forward together. So there's I don't know if we have, well, we'll speak of it instead of showing the video. If you've ever seen a slinky walk its way down a set of stairs, if you can imagine a slinky walking its way up a flight of stairs, that's what we're kind of doing here together collectively. We're the people who get up to the next step hopefully will help the people on the step below upward. And that's not a process of them being better. That's not a process of them being on that step, showing that they've got somehow higher status or tenure or superiority or more knowledge. That's the position they're in the moment. They happen to be able to help. And that's all there is to it. And then it's an act of love and care. Then it's an act of service. We're just helping each other up the hill.